Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Geno Reynolds and this is WAD Presents The Real Geno. Today we're going to do something a little different. Let me ask you this, can you not get to the theater for a while or even not feel like even going? Despite my love of movies, I get that way sometimes. Do you sometimes crave more than just a 2 to 3 hour story? I know I do. So what I wanted to do today was briefly talk about some of the shows that I've been checking out on streaming services lately. So let's do this.
If you don't think there's hope for the world, why bother going on?
You haven't seen the world, so you don't know. You keep going for family.
I'm not family.
No? You're cargo.
First up is HBO Max and its runaway hit The Last of Us, which is based on the popular video game series. We all know that movies and shows based on video games have a tough road from the beginning, but for me, The Last of Us had me from the opening frame of the first episode. While I've never played the games, I do watch others play them just for the story, and I love that story. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey play Joel and Ellie. During a decades-long outbreak, Joel has to get Ellie to a quote-unquote hospital across the country because Ellie may be carrying a cure for the fungus-based infection. What you're going to get with this show is a kick to the gut right away and a lot more heartbreak after that. And at the time of filming this, they are only 3 episodes in. I can't wait to see what comes next, even though I kind of already know, for the most part anyway. Some other HBO Max shows we're checking out are the Game of Thrones spin-off House of the Dragon, which I enjoyed but am still warming up to, and Harley Quinn, which is a very funny and adult take on the DC anti-hero. Next up is Poker Face on Peacock, starring the always amazing and gorgeous, if I might add, Natasha Lyonne. Sue me, I've had a crush on her since 1999's American Pie.
I like to keep my options open.
What's it like? Always knowing the truth.
There's nothing mystical about it. I could just tell.
When anyone is lying.
Moving on, Lyonne stars as Charlie Cale, who has a unique gift. She can tell when anyone is lying. After her friend gets murdered, she takes it upon herself to figure out how she really died. Her gift seems to get her in more trouble than not. This trouble leads to her having to go on the run from her troubles in Las Vegas. While only 4 episodes in at the time of filming, I'm already hooked on this series, and not just because of my Lyonne crush. The series kind of reminds me a bit of another NBC show, The Pretender, more on that one in a bit. Cale goes around helping people across the country, all while being on the run. I really like how the story begins without Cale being there on screen, but then we learn that she's already involved in the plot as the story goes back a bit to show her perspective. This show has been a lot of fun so far. It's pretty entertaining to see how Cale's mouth gets her into trouble and watching how she has to get out of it. Again, you can see this one on Peacock. I'd recommend some other shows on the streaming service, but I haven't had Peacock very long. Some shows that I do want to check out are A Friend of the Family, which looks super creepy, and the continuation of Quantum Leap because I was a huge fan of the original. Next up is the Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime, which is based on the popular show Critical Role.
Evil rises. Our only hope lies in these brave warriors.
What the f***?
Right. Who else have we got?
I'm sorry, who the hell are you?
We're Vox Machina! We up!
The adventuring group Vox Machina were a group of mercenaries made up of a variety of different classes and races. At first, they were only interested in cheap alcohol and easy money, but when the entire kingdom is threatened, they may be the only ones who can stop the evil bent on destroying the land. The characters in the show are all voiced by their Critical Role counterparts, which is a huge plus for the fandom. What I really like about this one is that it seems to be able to find just the right balance of silly and serious. It knows when it can goof around and when our characters have to find it in themselves to be the heroes that they need to be. While this is a cartoon, it is in no way a kid's show. Vox Machina is brutal, bloody, and vulgar, just the way it should be. At the time of filming this, Season 2 is underway on Amazon Prime. Some other shows to check out on Amazon Prime are Reacher, which is way better than the Tom Cruise attempts at the character. The second and final season of Hunters has finally been released after a long layoff because of the pandemic, and well worth the wait. There's also another mature cartoon with Invincible based on the comic book series. With a blast from the past, I just found out that Prime has all of The Pretender, the series I mentioned a bit ago, so I know a show I'll be binging soon, before it goes away anyway. Lastly, Prime has what is probably my favorite show going right now, The Boys, which is getting ready to release its 4th season soon. Wednesday has been the next big breakaway hit on Netflix, and not just for the TikTok craze.
Finally, you will be among peers who understand you. Maybe you'll even make some friends.
Want to take a stab at being social? I do like stabbing.
Wednesday Addams, played morbidly perfect by Geno, is forced to go to a special school for people with unusual gifts. This leads to her having to solve many different mysteries, even one that may or may not involve her family. Ortega, who takes heavy inspiration from the Christina Ricci version of the character, which is a good thing because I love Ricci's performance in those 2 movies, is really good in this. Ricci is even in the show, and yes, Ricci was another one of the young Geno crushes growing up too.
I'd pity him.
Anyway, I really enjoyed the overall story being told in this one, and the atmosphere and performances are a lot of fun too. Plus, Netflix has already made the wise decision, really quickly I might add, of announcing season 2. There's a lot of great stuff on Netflix to binge right now, so here we go. There's the Cuphead show based on the video game. The Dragon Prince has 4 seasons ready to enjoy. Plus, you can't go wrong with Avatar: The Last Airbender, unless you watch the movie anyway, and its sequel, The Legend of Korra. Masters of the Universe Revelation was an amazing continuation of the He-Man mythos, and I don't care what anybody says otherwise. Here's hoping for a season 2. Plus, you have the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy, 8 seasons of the Voltron reboot, and 4 seasons of the amazing video game adaptation of Castlevania. See, I told you there was a lot. Lastly, there's Willow on Disney+, which continues the story from the 1988 movie of the same name, and one of my personal favorites, I might add. And hey, look, another of my movie crushes. I love you, Sorsha.
Stop saying that!
Man, I need a date.
You think you know what is real and what isn't. What is light? What is dark? Now, forget all you know. Come with me. Willow.
Taking place 20 years after the movie, there is a new evil coming to the land. It's up to a new group of heroes, some the children of legends, plus a now high Nell and Willow, to put an end to it once and for all. While this show has made some, let's just call them interesting choices, for the most part, I still love this new story. For me, like the movie, it's the characters that are really making it work. You also get some returning characters other than Willow, but I won't spoil those. The story has many different plots, which have all worked together well for the most part so far. The most important plot is what fans of the movie have been asking for years, which is what became of Elora Danan, the baby Willow and friends were trying to protect in the first film. While it hasn't been announced yet, the end of the first season promised me 2 more seasons. And I want my 2 seasons, Disney+. Some other shows to check out, in my opinion anyway, are 4 different Star Wars shows. First, there's The Mandalorian, but I don't need to tell you that one, do I? The second is the Clone Wars spinoff, The Bad Batch. Third is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and lastly is Andor, which most people think is way better than expected. Oh, and from my childhood and for my kids' sake, watch Bear in the Big Blue House, so they'll add the rest of the episodes, please. There are so many things to stream nowadays, so hopefully this gave you a few ideas of some of the good stuff on them. Make sure to follow me on WANDTV.com, as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Real Geno. Also, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at The Real Geno. That's going to be it for this edition of WAND Presents The Real Geno. As always, I am your host, The Real Geno, Geno Reynolds. Till next time.